Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. All to the top besides. Then I turn up like a boss. No problem helping the loss. All of the filters be off. Check out a couple reactions. Go get you something to snack with. Back to Demetria the broadcast. Chopping it up on the podcast. Don't forget like and subscribe. You never know who's gon' slide. Leave a comment, baby. We've been on shit lately. Say whatever's on your mind. Can I have a good time? You already know how it go. Relax and enjoy the show. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Chi-Town into the world? Here we go. Back at it. This is allegedly Demetria. Allegedly Demetria, whichever one, but it's really allegedly Demetria. What's up?
Because you're going to have people that's going to say it like different ways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. They going to say Demetria, Demetra, Demetrius. I don't really, to be honest, but, you know, correctly it's allegedly Demetria. So, yeah. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And for those of you that's been here before, thank you for coming back. And for those that is the first time, thank you for tuning in. We're going to chop it up today, y'all. I got a special guest. I got a special guest today, you all. I'm going to say a little something, but I'm going to let him introduce himself as well. I know him as, we calling out name?
Go ahead. I mean, you got me here. Fernando, go ahead.
I know him as Antonio, you know. A lot of people.
Few people
right.
know me as that.
And I also know him as ZEUS. That's what's up.
A lot of people know me as that.
Yeah. And I also know him as my son.
This is true.
Now, don't nobody else know him as that.
Very, very
That's
true.
some special stuff right there. But yeah, thank you for coming.
No problem. I'm glad to be here. Definitely glad to be here. I love your setup.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of you as well. I'm extremely proud of you. I brought you in today as the one and only philosopher. Chi-Town, get with it if y'all don't know. He is a philosopher.
For sure.
I'm not sure if y'all really know. Definitely. Before it's all over, we're going to let them know where they can find you at on all of these platforms of social media.
It's not too many places. You can find me on Instagram, NEVAR Beats. That's my beat page. Mm-hmm. You can find me on NEVAR Tarot. That's my tarot page. Those are the only two places you can find me on social media, though. For now.
Okay. That's what's up. All right. Okay, philosopher. Okay, Leo. Music.
Definitely.
Son.
Yeah.
A brother. Any kind of readings, or is it just a certain kind of reading?
I do it's divination. I do different forms of divination. Card romancy is what I specialize in. Card romancy is basically just reading or divining and using cards. There's different types or it's branched off. You got tarot readings, you got oracle readings, you got Lenormand readings, things of that nature. I stick to those.
Why?
Because I've always been into cards.
Really?
I've always been interested into cards. Like,
that's what I was going to ask you. So at what age did you realize that you were different?
That's very hard to say. Okay, so it's hard to say because I remember a lot. I can remember my first birthday cake. But at the age, I think I was like about 3 or 4 because I started dreaming a lot.
So you're a dreamer?
Yeah.
You interpret dreams as well?
Yeah, there's one of the services that I provide. Like some of the clients will come through and they'll be like, I had a dream last night. Well, I need you to interpret this. And that's one of the services that we provide.
That's what's up. So like about around what age was that?
About 3 or 4. when I started noticing things was different because I was seeing things that other people wasn't seeing. I was experiencing things that other people wasn't experiencing. As far as like what I know to be now, more on the deeper end of spirituality. At the time, I had no idea of where to place it. But,
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to ask you about that. That was going to be my next thing. I wanted to see if you could just enlighten us on chakras.
Chakras.
Okay, is that some type of alignment? Also, is there levels to it?
You got your basic 7, right? And then you got your 2. Okay, chakras. The definition of the word chakra is basically can be broken down to a spinning wheel. That's a word from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a language that is spoken. It's not really spoken that much nowadays. Chakras. It's a spinning wheel of energy. You know what I'm saying? There's different chakras that reside in the body, and then there's different chakras that reside in your auric field or outside of the immediate body. You got your basic 7, you know what I'm saying? Your root chakra, you got your solar plexus, you got your root chakra, your solar plexus, root chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. You got your, I'm missing 2.
Now, don't lie. Don't throw nothing else in there that don't supposed to be in there
You
now.
got your root chakra that's at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your solar, third eye chakra, crown chakra. I'm missing 2.
Okay, well, maybe we can come back to those missing 2. But guess what? Are those related to spiritual anything? Those on like different levels of it. Do you connect your spirit with it? Or is it just something that's just out there?
There are parts of yourself that you can tap into that hold energy. Like say for instance, you have your heart chakra, right? Now those chakras also correlate with zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying? But you say for instance your heart chakra, which correlates with the sign of Leo. Your heart chakra, it deals with your love aspects, the ability to love, and then it's closed off by guilt. So like if you feeling guilt or you harboring guilt, then it'll close the filter or the chakra down or off. So it'll have it spinning the wrong way or not spinning at all. The objective is to get them all balanced or as much as possible, your filters as clean as possible so that one can activate the vehicle. Because one would say that the vehicle is inactive because all aspects are all color ratios, which is also the chakras. The chakras are 7 spans of color. So then that's your rainbow or your color wheel. But you tapping into those so you can activate the vehicle. When you activate the vehicle, then you can do other things based on the utilization of those chakras.
Gotcha. Do you teach classes?
I do teach classes. I've taught classes. At the moment right now, I don't have time to teach classes. I got a few projects that I'm worried about, and I'm taking care of
Money
those.
maker.
You're funny. But I do teach classes. I've taught readings, how to read tarot cards, and then I've also taught cult services or esoteric knowledge, and that will fall into that category.
That's what's up. How did you learn about this?
A few ways. Because, like,
what brought you into it?
You'll get into it, and then other aspects of life will take over, and then you'll find it again type thing. How I got into it, dream research was one of the ways that it started because a lot of the dreams started getting like very, very vivid and a lot of them started happening. So then like I started having a dream journal and started writing down the dreams and things of that nature. And then it kind of sort of opened up from there. I started looking at lectures, watching lectures. That got me into it. Music, very, 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 very much so. I started listening to a lot of different genres in the beginning. Never really was a person who just listened to like strictly rap or strictly R&B. Even from the aspect of like my family, my grandma would listen to different genres. She was very, very big on vinyl records. So those records, she would play those and then would put me on to different stuff. But
younger generation don't know too much about that.
But music, different artists, they'll put the mysteries in their craft. So like if you're into painting, different legends or the greats, they'll put the mysteries into their craft. It's the same thing with music. So I started listening to different artists, and the things that they were saying would touch me on a different aspect than a regular, because some music, when it's done right, it's supposed to touch you.
I agree. I was going to ask you about that because one would say you wasn't brought up that way. What made you go down this path? Okay, you were not brought up that way. So how did you, I should say, how did you learn how to balance it out from your upbringing? Because you were brought up Pentecostal, is that right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with anything with Pentecostal?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So how were you, or how do you balance this out spiritually? And with the dreaming, do you think that your dreaming has anything to do with how you were brought up? Are you a prophetess? Are you a prophet?
Yes, I do. One of the degrees that I have is to look into. So yeah. When it comes to the question,
That's okay. That's what's up.
When it comes to the question that you asked about my upbringing, it definitely helped. There's degrees to spirituality, like I said before. So it helped me connect dots that was already there. Mm-hmm. So say, for instance, being in the church helped me know the book. So I know it back and forth. So to know it back and forth, and someone, say for instance, someone comes to you and then they're telling you degrees from within the book. You know what they're talking about. They can speak to you. So say for instance, if the book was a key or a code and someone used that key or code to help free you, it's easier because you already know that programming. So like most books, biblical things of that nature, they're hard codes. Mm-hmm. So like you'll have a symbol on the front of the book or visible, and that's the hard program. And within that hard code or within those hard codes, there's sagas or sagas or stories. Mm-hmm. And you plug yourself into the main character, and then the book or story opens up for you. Mm-hmm. I would only know that if I was in that space. Mm-hmm. I would only know.
Meaning you tapped in.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So how do you or have you learned how to balance the teaching, research, and service?
Yeah, I turned them all into businesses.
I ain't mad at you, young black man.
If you turn them into it, well, from my perspective of what you're asking, me turning them into businesses now makes it more manageable because it's easy to manage a business. More easier to manage a business than all of these aspects by themselves separately.
That makes a lot of sense.
So like if I'm delegating between the two, or if I'm mediating between the two, or working between the two, I just treat it like a shift or shifts. Right now, I'll go into this for like 9 hours. And then, you know what I'm saying, I'll go into the other one. More so nighttime, things of that nature. But then they vary. You know, I don't tend to lock them down as hours, but I'll treat it like that.
That's what's up. So what strategies do you have for healing? Because we live in a world where healing need is at the top of the list, in my opinion. You have a lot of healing that needs to take place in the world. So what type of strategies do you have for healing?
Okay, I could break healing down into a few aspects. The first one that I would love to suggest is more of a healing of self.
Come on with it.
Detoxing.
Come on with it. Because first you got to start with you, right?
Yeah. Even if other things did heal, you'll just be toxic and mess it up. So you got to get yourself together first. Cutting things off, because if you want to create something new, like say for instance, you want to create a healthy mindset. If you want to create a healthy mindset, well then you're going to have to destroy the old mindset. If you want to create a healthy vehicle or a healthy body, you're going to have to destroy it.
Unpack that.
To destroy or ways, methods in destroying the old body.
That's powerful right there.
Yeah. You can definitely get rid of the things that it needs or you felt that it wanted. Most of those things are from parasites, external factors. The parasite takes over your vehicle and makes you desire certain things, even conversations, even desiring to be around certain people. But taking that aspect out of the vehicle, the parasites, flushing from parasites, your walnuts, your black walnuts.
At the top of the list for flushing parasites.
Flushing parasites, you're going to want your walnuts. Get back to me on that, because it's top 3.
Okay.
But you want to flush your body of the parasites. When you flush your body of the parasites, that's going to help you think clear, move clear, be clear. One of the ways to do that is alleviating meat from the vehicle. A lot of people stray away from that because they say when you remove meat from the vehicle or the body, then, you know what I'm saying, it deteriorates or you find yourself less functional. But you're eating the meats for metal. So you would just substitute the metals and you'll be good. Or you'll just absorb more light or absorb more sun, feeding the light body, and you'll be good. Other ways of healing. You have methods such as sun gazing, grounding. Grounding is when you take your shoes off and you put them into the soil or the grass, and then you connect with the earth. Treating yourself like a battery that's plugging in. Meditation, that's plugging in and helping you heal the aura. But any disease is mucus in the wrong place. And then when it comes to aspects of dying or deteriorating, that's your yin and yang. One of those are out of balance. Either you have too much negative going on, or you're too negative and you need some more positive, or you're too positive and you need to balance it out with negativity or negative aspects. Not necessarily good or bad as we see good or bad, but good or bad nonetheless.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's a lot of powerful information right there. And I wish you could break down each one, but we don't have that much time to do it. But that's very informative. And in order for you to move forward with it, you have to first deal with yourself and get all of the toxics out of your vehicle first.
Because you can only attract what you put out. So if you're vibrating at a low vibratorial frequency, then everything around you is going to be low vibratorial or poverty, or in poverty or poor or less fortunate, things of that nature. Negative, argumentative.
Yeah, so you've been in this for a while now, right? About how many years?
I want to say about at least a dub now, if not more. But definitely from previous lifetimes, and that's just an aspect that you learn over time. Like, okay, how am I learning this easy? Or how do I know this and other people don't know that? And then you look at your natal chart, which is like a resume from the solar system, and it says that you've done this in a previous lifetime, or it says that you acquired that from a previous, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
So with all of those years under your belt, what would you say to a newcomer? How would you enlighten them on coming into this? What would you say besides philosopher?
Spirituality.
What would you give a newcomer? How would you coach a baby, a fresh new baby just coming into it, and they're trying to take the steps the correct way? You know, because you have a lot out here on different social media platforms that, they're throwing it at you. You know, but they're talking from their experience, of course, but they're talking from years of experience. And you have people that's trying to take the baby steps of coming in. What would you how would you coach that person?
I would first give them the definition of the word spirituality, because in order to understand or utilize any word, and words are worlds, to tap into any world or word, you must first know the definition or the etymology of the word. So I will let them know that spirituality is just simply being able to conduct rituals with spirits. Now, when you break it down like that, it sounds freaky and spooky. When you look at
a lot of people say demonic.
Yeah. But when you look at any aspect of religion, that's basically what you're doing. You're conducting rituals with spirits. So say, for instance, like Buddhism, right? The spirit would be Buddha. And you're doing things ritualistically. Ritualistically meaning you're doing it over and over repetitively for a certain result. That's what a ritual is. So say, for instance, you brush your teeth, that's a ritual. Because you're doing something over and over for a result.
Yeah.
So we're all about rituals. We know about rituals, but when you use the word, it kind of gets, mystified.
Yeah.
But to demystify the word spirituality, is just being able to conduct rituals with spirits. So when you know that, you can be better prepared for what you're going to come against. So like a person who's a neophyte or a newbie, a rookie, a novice, right? Someone who's just entering into spirituality or aspects of, chakras, being awakened, anything of those sorts, holistic practices, alchemy, things of those nature. You have to know that there's two sides to the chessboard. This is chess. Everything down here is spirituality. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides to the chessboard, the light side and the dark side.
Yes.
The white pieces, the black pieces.
Yes.
So when you know that, you can prepare yourself, because everybody who's spiritual isn't of good. Sometimes you can get that confused, like, oh, this person is about chakras, you know what I'm saying? Or this person is trying to teach me how to, open my third eye, because, like, you 9 times out of 10, you don't learn it from yourself, because you can learn all this from self. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to read a book to teach you anything necessarily. Like Google doesn't read a book to teach you anything and access the information. You have an internet browser or eyebrow. And within that, if you close your eyes, you can begin to tap into Siri or different aspects out here that gives you consciousness to download, which works for this framework. But knowing that spirituality has light side and a dark side is the beginning of spirituality, because then you can place yourself on the aspect of the board. Are you on the dark side or are you on the light side? Now, that doesn't just polarize you because you have light, dark, light, right? But you want to figure out what side you on, because if you don't know what side you on, you're just going to get went from both sides. Being out here, say for instance, you doing services, one of your gifts is the ability to heal, right? But then you get a client that comes through who got something deliberately, or who is infected with something that they coming to you for services to heal, and they're of straight darkness. You know what I'm saying? Now, their only job was to be sent to you to get what they have, to get off them onto you now.
Gotcha.
And you don't know that. Like, just coming in, you don't know those things. And that's how you get your rank. That's how you that's how you level up, That's how you get your experience. You get your experience, you gain your experiences through those experiences. It's not never always good, but through those you gain strength. For sure.
That's what's up. Can you give me one example of a failure in teaching and one example of a particular success?
A failure in teaching? To not be, okay, so a lot of people who teach fail when they don't apply the things that they're trying to teach first. So, like, application is everything. Whether it's light or dark, good or bad, whether it's positive, negative, beneficial or non-beneficial.
Yes.
Whether it's how to start a business or whether it's how to rob.
Yes.
You need to know if it works.
Yeah, exactly.
So application, a lot of people aren't, okay, so like, say for instance, you go into a bookstore, right? You have books that are to the right, depending on where you're at. You have books that are to the right that are author's interpretation, to where, like, these are books that information that how they interpret it, but it's not source information. The other kind is source information. So then you can be able to tap in and get the information for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
Yes.
But I like to do that more, source information versus author's interpretation, because you don't know if they've done the work. You don't know if they've put in what was necessary to even be telling you about this. There's no source information.
Yeah, so that's why I want to know if you can also give me an example of a particular success.
A particular success of teaching. An individual who's been through something and then they have a student or an acolyte or someone who comes to them for direction, that they can guide them through it as well.
Yes, let me break it down to you.
You've been personally in the hole, and I can help you get out the hole by getting in the hole and pulling you, or showing you how to get out of it, versus like yelling at you from the top of the hole, like, this is how you get out. Gotcha.
That's a lot of information right there. A lot of information. That's one side of you. Let's tap into a little bit of the music world. What are you out here doing in the music world?
Currently, I'm working on the project Atlantis. That's the one that I'm working on right now. I sell beats, productions. Working on enlarging the studio, for sure. I mix, master. I've been producing since 98. What I'm currently working on, I have intro videos that I've done. I just did a project for allegedly Demetria.
That's what's up.
I'm excited about that. I'm working on music videos.
Yeah.
I have an immense catalog currently, so I'm working on dropping new videos. I got a lot of fans that are waiting for the videos. They're like, where your videos? Where your videos? So I'm working on that right now.
And once again, where can we find you at?
With the music, you can find me at NEVAR Beats. Every time I get a YouTube, I'm not going to say every time, previously in the past when I've gotten YouTubes, I've been shadow banned. It'll get like I'll drop hella content. Like I always drop content. And like say for instance, the people who know me from NEVAR beats, they only know that kind of music that's on that page. They don't know anything about the YouTube music that's shadow banned. You know what I'm saying? So then there's that world of people who's like, oh, where's this music at?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you can find me on NEVAR Beats, NEVAR BEATZ. That's Instagram. That's where you can get the music at. Yeah.
That's what's up,
I got my links and stuff there. Music videos, albums that you can grab. Working on a new website and stuff like that too as well.
Let's give a shout out to them that paved the way, right? Who on your list that paved the way, helped pave the way for you?
Musically?
Yeah, musically and the philosopher and all of that good stuff.
I'm gonna put y'all on. Okay, so philosophy, right? The elders. You have elders. There are elders. Those who are not going to abuse you for your light. Because like a lot of teachers, they're gonna use you for your light. A lot of teachers gonna use you to get, especially if you're pure or innocent or really chosen, they're going to use you to get into spaces that they can't get into. And that's called white glove. But legends, elders, you got your brother Panic. You know, you need your defense against the dark arts. You ain't going to have your defense against the dark arts. You got to start there. Because it's dark out here. It's wicked as shit. I've had many attempts on my life, and survived. You know what I'm saying? Everything from death threats to actual sacrifice rituals, destiny swaps that didn't go through. You know what I'm saying? But you need your defense against the dark arts. Brother Panic, you can find him on YouTube. He transitioned, but you can get your digs on YouTube. C. Freemanell. C. Freemanell is an elder. He gonna put you on. Bobby Hemmett. He's an elder. He gonna put you on. Valentine. He gonna put you on. Dr. Delbert Blair, Chicago's finest. He transitioned, but he created the Meta Center, and he definitely gonna get you right. I saving the best for last though. 7 Bomar. That's Sacred Energy. They're gonna put you on. You can find them in Understanding on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people, you can get their lectures on YouTube. They long lectures, 3-hour lectures. So if you ain't here for the wisdom or you ain't here to do the work, then don't even worry about it. This ain't for you. But if you are, you just got put on to some legends. You know what I'm saying? That are current legends. We ain't even gonna talk about, you know, the ones that they always talk about. Oh, Plato's, Socrates. You know what I'm saying? Now, you, if you want to go into it, go look into the works of Leonardo da Vinci. I know he's talked about a lot, but he was one of different brotherhoods and things of that nature. And he was valid. He got into some spaces and some places that people who are of my demographic or of my, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote color, could only dream of getting into, and that's they shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's legit. He, you know, when you get real deep into the legends and the myths and the lores of Leonardo da Vinci, from his artwork to different places he had to go to gain his knowledge and his wisdom, he solved some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard. Shout out Terrence Howard with the linchpins. Shout out Terrence Howard. He be putting people on. We sleep on him. You know, when it comes to music, I listened to a lot of rock music in high school. I listened to a lot of emo music in high school. I was rocking with like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. You know what I'm saying? Evanescence. Wow. You know, those people put me on to like how to control vibrations in certain aspects to get people into different state of consciousness. But like with any languages, you learn how to curse first. You know what I'm saying? You learn the bad words first. They tell you don't use them, but those are the first ones that you learn. That's what gets you into the language. So the language of music, I learned a lot of the lower vibrationals or frequencies. The legends that I looked up to at the time. Wayne had bars. He did something that I do currently. He dropped music relentlessly, nonstop.
You do have
endlessly.
That.
Like it was like 3 years for like 4 summers. This nigga dropped a song every week and then dropped a mixtape the next day.
That's
and you were like, yes.
That's you for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Don't sleep, don't eat. Yes, that's you for sure.
I was like, did you get the new Wayne? Like, we'll go get it. How I know it was that consistent because we was getting our haircut like every week, every other week.
Yeah.
And we at the barbershop, and then felt like, oh, we got the new Wayne mixtape.
Yeah.
Pop store it in.
Yeah.
It's a rap.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne. I fuck with Eminem. I fucked with the old Eminem. If you go back and listen to the re-up, you'll see why I said that. The last song on that, Public Enemy #1, that song is very heavy. Re-listen to that over and over and over and over. All those Eminem fans, go listen to that song. Don't listen to anything else. Listen to that song. Then when you come to the realization, and come back at me and holla. Eminem, KRS One, let's go. Because he was about knowledge and wisdom. I really too much don't know these new niggas, nor would they have been a pioneer to help me, so I can't name none of those. I really didn't listen to, and this is going to be a controversial one right here, I really didn't listen to too much Tupac. I really didn't listen to too much Biggie. And they're going to be like, oh, damn, whoa, you didn't listen to too much Tupac and Biggie? I mean, but like, look at what's going on right now. You'll see why I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the ones that like, were the pioneers.
Okay.
People who like themselves.
That's what's up. Well, I'll save the best question. Well, one of the best questions for last. Where you from? You from the Stars?
My ID sound from Chicago though.
Your ID? Let's go with what your ID say. Where your ID say you was born at?
My ID sound from Chicago.
You from Chicago, Chi-Town all the way. This is allegedly Demetria. And guess what? Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. All right, we want to hear what you got to say. Guess what? We from South Side of Chi-Town all day long. Peace. Guess what? This the way I like it.